Hi, it's Sarah Jane here from Natural Heating. Now, it's a little while since I last did a video, but that doesn't mean to say I've not been busy. I've actually been really busy trying to create and make some new things behind the scenes. And I'm quite into product development. And today's video is all about a couple of new features that I've personally bringing along to clock stoves for my customers here at Natural Heating. Yeah, so would you like to see what I've been up to? So first of all, today we have been pulling the showroom apart and I am currently in the process of doing a new display area for the clock stoves. So I have got a Blithfield 5 up on my trolley ready to put up on the shelf. And I have measured everything, as you see behind me. So everything is spaced out exactly where I want it to go. So it's all ready just to put into position. There's a few things, let's just say nothing is ever perfect. Clock are one of the best UK built stoves in the market and I truly love them. But although I truly love them, I'm a bit OCD about stoves. And if something isn't quite right, I need to fix it. Now, the first thing that bugged me has always been the door handles. And as much as I like them, I'm afraid I also hate them. So, the door handles. So what are we going to do about these handles? Well, I've tried different handles and you know what? They don't work. And the reason they don't work is they just don't look right in the clock. I've tried making them longer, I've tried making different ones, and you know what? They still just don't look right because the clock door handle looks right. Doesn't mean I like it, but it looks right. So what I've done is I've made a cool touch handle that's removable, which means that you can open the door without the need for a mitt. And that means that it's easier for people that have difficult hands. So what I'm going to do is put this up on the bench and then show you what I mean. Because we'll have better space and I'll be able to have better access. And I might even re-video this bit because I don't know that it's very good, but we'll see in a minute. Right, okay, so my trolley's down in position, so I will lock one foot, lock the other foot, and then lower the height down until it grips onto my surface. Then, time to hop up here, and okay. Alright, so I'm just going to move my trolley out of the way. And I'll show you some of these things that I've been doing to clocks. Right, so I've now got my a few of my stoves up on my new display area. And it's going to look lovely when it's all done. So these cards that are behind you were cut out to size because I wanted to see exactly where they're going and they're all spaced the right distance apart and it saves me moving them twice. At least that's the idea. Now, I don't know if this will be any good, but if I talk to David instead of to you, hopefully I'm now looking at the screen. But then again, maybe I'm not. So with these stoves that are behind me, I have got a brass handle kettle in this one. You see, but brass option. The brass option is £120 from me. I think it's £95 actually from Clock. But the reason it's £95 from Clock is you'd be ordering that from the factory with the brass fittings. So you only get one set of door handles, just the one that's on the stove and you get brass. I don't work like that because I don't order in for people. I don't typically order in for people. I keep the stoves in stock, so you guys can rock up here anytime and decide you want it fitted tomorrow or next week, or we can arrange a fitting, or you can pick it up. And I've got them in stock, so I'm not waiting to order them in. I'm selling them from here. So I keep them all with stainless fittings as standard, and then brass is an optional extra. That means you get stainless fittings on your stove, and then if you buy brass handles, you've also got brass handles, so you end up with 2 sets of handles. So if you change your mind, you can always change back. Now, the one thing that I didn't like about brass handle sets is this pillar. Because when you buy that pillar from Clock, when you buy that brass handle set from Clock, this bit here, that comes in stainless steel. When you buy them brass, look at the dust, and they've painted it black. It's not actually brass, because they say that this piece here onto this piece here will make the brass wear, because brass is softer and they don't want it to cause any problems. You know what, I just don't think it looks right. Not to me, it doesn't. I'm a bit OCD and I've got to have it the way that I like it. And I wanted it brass. So I had brass ones made. Simple as that. So buy it from wherever you like. Don't expect to get a brass pillar. But if you're one of my customers, you're paying a bit extra, but you're getting 2 sets of handles. If you change your mind, you can go back to the original one. You will get that pillar, whatever you want to call it, this piece that the door handle latches onto, you will get that in silver painted black. So you're going to end up with 3 of these. You have 1 silver one black one that's been painted, stainless painted black, and then you also end up with the brass one from me. The brass one from me is free of charge for me because I'm not allowed to sell it. I'm giving you it because I think it looks a bit meh with a painted black one. I think it looks a lot better with the brass one. And do you know what? If it wears given time, you got it for free. You can put the black one on that you've also got, or you could respray the black one, or you could put the silver set on altogether. But I've never had a problem yet with wear, and I've been doing this the whole last winter. It's only a year or so since I made this bit up. And no, I won't ship them out for people that haven't bought their stove from us, because I can't sell you that pillar. He keeps terrifying the living daylights out of people in the shop. I've been trying to put my work to wash that floor, but he just refuses to get the mop out. Right, okay. So that's the first thing, is the door handles on those. Now, my other bugbear with the handles is holding them. What I feel is that handle is particularly short. It only covers about 3 fingers, and I've not got that big hands. When you've got a glove on, you're struggling to get any more than 2 fingers around it, and it gets hot, and there's not a lot of clearance distance off that door handle. So when you put a glove on, I'm just going to put a wee glove, big glove. It's the wrong hand, I'm left-handed. I need to get the other one. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Right, when you're putting that glove on, there's not a lot of hand clearance on the door handle. And if you've got really old, if you've got arthritis, basically it's not the best door handle. I've never liked selling clocks to people with door handles because they struggle with them. And I've tried all sorts. I tried making new handles that were longer for these just to give you more grip. And they just don't look right, because the clock handle is lovely. It looks pretty, it suits the stove. And no matter what I did with it, I couldn't get anything that looked right. But I was never really happy with the handling of the handle. So I've actually made my own device that I'm quite proud of for the clocks. And it's a cool removable handle. So it's just a nice thing to have, or you could classify it as a mobility tool. So here's my handle. And I've cut it, I've had it machined. I've machined it all myself. I'm hand doing them myself. Custom made by me. And what you do is you slot it over your existing door handle. Just like so. That handle can be left-handed or right-handed. So it is currently right-handed and I'm left-handed, but let's just see. So you will see here's my right hand, and there's the clearance. You're nowhere near anything hot on that stove. You see? dead easy to take off with on that stove. So it means no glove required, and you just lay it on your hearth. Like so. I have to say, this really makes me happy because it makes me comfortable selling a product to a bigger range of customers, because a lot of my customers that live in old traditional cottages in this area have been in those houses for years. It might even have belonged to their parents, and they've been handed down during the generations, and the clock handles for people with arthritis have just been not the best. They're not the worst, but they're not the best. They look right, they're a fabulous stove, but the handle's always been a bit of a letdown for me. But I can actually make these left-handed as well by changing the screw over to the other side. So I'll just do that for 2 seconds and then I'll show you. So here you go, I've done it the other way now. So I can put my handle over the door handle, and you can see there's loads of clearance. Oops. So here you go. So my door handle, it's going the other way now. You can see there's loads of clearance. My hand's nowhere near that door. Totally cold. And it makes the stove look just the way it did before. It's lovely. So these are stainless steel fittings. It's on these. I'm not going to do them in brass. I'm not even going to try and do them in brass. And I'm hand machining these myself to fit the doors. All you need to do is change the screw and the fitting from one side to the other if you want it left-handed to right-handed. But they are as light as a feather to use. They're not tight. They're not difficult. They're bang on. They're really for my customers. But if you're struggling with them and you want one, you can always give me a phone and I'll see what I can do, because I designed these. These are mine. They're not clocks. They're not made by clock. They're not endorsed by clocks. But I'll tell you, I made them and I like them. And I'm sure that many of you might like these too, because I love clocks, but not the handles. So what else have I been up to? Because I've got another tweak that I've been doing for my shop customers, because making things the way that I want. I have to say this is going to get a bit, okay, I have to say this is going to take a bit of practice, because it really isn't that easy. You try to talk to David at the same time as I'm looking at this phone, because he's too tall. He's just too tall. So it ends up I'm looking up there. He needs to be lower down. Okay, maybe I've lost the plot. But now we've got David and David. So, big David. Little David. He's very little. He's sitting down, David. Yeah, okay, so this turned into a running joke here the other week, and I actually took him to Violetta's wedding. She did tell me to take him as my +1. I think she thought she was joking and I wouldn't, but yeah, David came to our wedding. That's a whole other story.
Oh, for God's sake! I was joking. Oh, right, is that your date?
Anyway, here's what I've been up to. The dials on clocks, now they're absolutely absurdly good. They are so precision perfect. You can control these within an absolute nut. Your air control dials. The one that is on the right is your primary for your bottom air, and the one that's on the left is your secondary for your top air. And these move the tiniest bit through the dials. It's the back, which I've put in another video. Dials here, me turning them. That's why they're called clocks. And they move loads and loads and loads of travel. Loads away, but you can move them a tiny, teeny, weeny bit, and it will go exactly right. So fully shut, fully open. Is it shut or is it open? How far is it shut or open? Shut, open, but where? Now, I fancied the ideas of having these laser engraved. That's ideal because they screw onto a threaded bar at the back, so that means that the numbers would never be upright and you wouldn't get the same place every time. They'd just be different, so there wasn't any point in having them laser engraved. You can put a dot on it with a Sharpie, with a felt pen, or some nail polish, and you'll always know where off and on is, and that's quite helpful. But I thought, surely there's got to be a way of doing this better. So what I've done is I've made some clear stickers. Yeah, that's simple. Stickers that go with me. I've got 2 different patterns, and I just put these ones on, and when I did this one I melted it with a blowtorch because it was raggy on the edge, and I thought I'd just melt it on, and it didn't work very well, so I'm going to go and get another one and redo it in a minute. But focus and zoom in. What I've done is just put a very tiny and discreet, I mean this is small, clock face clear sticker on my dials. And that means that when you twiddle them, you know exactly where your favourite settings are. So if you line it up with the top being 12 o'clock, it'll go around a full 360 degrees back to 12 o'clock. So if it's upright and it's on vertical, you might think, I like it with this one open at 9 o'clock being upright, and you can go precision perfect to your setting every single time. Now this clock face is slightly different. It's only got 4 markings on it, and intermediate markings I had both done for my customers, so you can have a couple of each or whatever and have a play when you're having a new fire. But I've just mangled this one, so I'm going to go and get another one and change it later. Right, there, that's better. So I've done 2 different stickers because what I had tried doing was W on that one and C on this one, so you knew one was for wood and coal. They really want a stove that's got WC on it. It sounds a bit like a bathroom, so I thought that was a bit poo. And I decided just to go with basic clock. Because after all, a clock face does work with a clock. So this is my wood one that's open, my top area that's open, my bottom one's kind of like shut. But you could modify this and say when you've got it at the setting like 8, 6 o'clock, and then I might have this one at 12 o'clock. I don't know, but the options are there. It ain't that difficult. Before I go home tonight, I think I better put these stoves back on the shelf and make it all look all nice for tomorrow. And then next week's job is do the rest of the showroom and bring it all up to speed, because this wall is starting to look really rather lovely, and I'm quite pleased. I think you'll think it looks a lot better now. Got a couple of dummy stoves in there at the moment because we're waiting on some new things. I don't think David will stay there in the long run, but as a temporary measure, I have got a mock-up of a clock compact in there, but what I'm going to do is put a clock Blithfield 5 in forest green on display. I've got it on order. And down here, awaiting this space here, will be clock 12 when it comes, which will be out in another month or 2. So I've already got them in order, and the space is reserved. It's a great big hunk of a chunk of a thing, and that's 12 kilowatt nominal, so it's probably going to do up to about 20 kilowatt. That's a lot of heat. But he's looking rather nice, and I'm rather pleased with this wall and how it's come on. So that's today's work, and I've got the rest of the showroom still to do, so I better get busy. See you later. Right, I'm just going home. Well, before I go home, I'm going to go and get some stuff to make Violetta's wedding cake, and I just thought I'd take a wee trip to the bathroom. When you sit down, do you think that will catch her out in the morning? I think he might.